Welcome everyone to the Sennheiser webinar today. So I'm Ty from Leader, I head up the IP team, and I've got Daniela here from Sennheiser. So Daniela is the territory manager for Sennheiser, and she's your go-to person for picking the right headset. So welcome Daniela, thanks for joining us.
Thanks Ty, hi everybody.
So we're going to be going through sort of headset selection today and looking at what makes the best choice, okay? So we've obviously got a lot of different headsets on the market, you know, be it Bluetooth or DECT, be it wired. So there's a lot of different technologies out there, and there's a lot of different options with headsets. So price isn't the best indicator of your fit for purpose headset, okay? So we're going to go through that and look at designing this up. Now, I know typically fast classes don't have slides, and we've kept it very minimal. But these slides are really valuable when you're going through and quoting up those jobs for your customers, that you can keep this slide deck handy, and this will be your go-to in terms of quoting. So what I'm going to do is we'll go through and have a look at their headset selection, and I'm going to pass over to Daniela, who's going to basically run through what thought process you need to undertake every time you're quoting up a new job.
Thanks, Ty. So the most important thing when choosing a headset with your customer is understanding their use. How are they going to be using their headset? Is it a contact center, or is it an office space where people are going to be sitting at their desk, never moving, they don't walk around the office, they don't leave the office with their device? Is it an office where they want people to hot desk, or they want people to be able to move around the office, to go into a separate office and have a discussion? Or is it somebody that's out on the road, somebody in the field who might be an account manager, or somebody who needs a mobile device, or someone who is half of the time in the office or half of the time on the road, which is a trend we're certainly seeing in the headsets we're selling. People are no longer required to be in the office 5 days a week, 9 to 5. There's the opportunity to work from home, to work from somewhere else. So it's important, number one, to understand how the end user is going to be using their headset. And then it's important to understand what they're going to be connecting to. Is it a desk phone? Is it a soft phone, a mobile phone, a tablet? Is it someone that has hearing issues and you need a specific headset for those people? Or is it a combination of all those things? Or is it somebody who their office is currently on a desk phone, they need new headsets, but in 6 months' time, they're looking at maybe going down a UC platform with a soft phone. So you need to look at, will this headset cover or future-proof them for what they're going to do next, which is important.
And we're seeing a lot more customers too, not just using it for telephony, but actually using it for other, audio applications, recording voiceovers, maybe narrating some video, going through and finding a multi-purpose use for your headset as opposed to just simply talking to someone on the phone. So we've got the whole range today, and we'll go through next the selections in terms of the technology type and how to go about, picking the right one. So Daniela, what's the thing with a noisy workplace? A lot of people say, I've got a noisy workplace. How does that impact what headset you purchase?
So depending on obviously how many headset or how many people you have in your business that will be wearing a headset, how loud people are, and what type of work environment you're in. For example, often a call center can be quite a noisy environment with people constantly answering calls inbound and outbound, or an office space with a lot of users. Noise is a massive factor, and when we talk about noise cancelling, there's two types of noise cancelling we talk about. Noise cancelling in the microphone and noise cancelling in the ear pad of the headset. So there's two different types of noise cancelling. One of the strengths of the Sennheiser is the noise cancelling in the microphone, and that's what we really, the feedback from our customers is it's a great microphone that blocks out a lot of that environment noise. So depending again on your situation, that might be a really important factor.
So what would be an example of a high noise environment? A lot of people think they're in that environment.
Yeah.
What does that environment look like? Is that a small business? Is that a really large call center?
So it depends. So we have a large call center that we service with Sennheiser headsets. That's about 900 users. It's an energy call center. It's it's loud, it's busy, there's like 200-300 people on every floor. When you listen in or you call in, which I've done both, because of the noise cancelling microphone in the headset they're using, you can't hear, for example, someone yelling out "Happy Birthday, Harry" in the background or talking about what they had for lunch. You can only hear the person that you're talking to, and it blocks out that noise. I'm sure everyone's had experiences of calling overseas call centres and hearing, that constant noise in the background that gets quite aggravating. Then it might be an office space of like 3-4 people. You and I are both quite loud, so if we worked in an office together, it would be.
We'd need the ultra high noise one. That's right.
Exactly. So yeah, it depends on the office environment and what you're using, the number of people in the office, and obviously their personality, how loud their voice is, that type of thing.
Another thing we get asked a lot is, should I go single or double-sided? Yep. So I know Aaron's got a double-sided Sennheiser headset, and if I've got to talk to him during the day, he can't hear me because it's not really good to talk to each other.
Yep.
But if you're wearing a single-sided headset, obviously that sort of promotes a bit more collaborative working.
Yeah, again, sometimes it comes down to a business decision. The business might decide they want everyone to have the same type of headset, whether it be single or double-sided, or sometimes they allow, their workers to have the choice, whether it be single or double-sided. Single-sided allows, as you said, the opportunity to be able to hear others in the office and talk to people. Double-sided in most of our range in our DEX series while it's not noise cancelling the microphone, because you're wearing 2 ear pads and they are quite big over the ear, it does block out some of that noise. You can still hear the background noise, but it does normally come down to personal preference or what the business decides. Obviously, double-sided is more expensive than single-sided, but yeah, it just really comes down to what personal preference is.
Yeah, cool. So obviously you can see there, the environment and the single or double-sided, that's more of a personal choice. But these kind of environmental questions come to us if you're not sure, okay? And if you've got a large opportunity and you need to test, 1 or 2 different headsets, Daniela and the Sennheiser team are always happy to send out, demo units for those larger opportunities where you can actually try before you buy, okay? And it's really important. No other brand we've got here does that in terms of sending out brand new units for customers to test. Another thing here with the unified communication space. So Daniela touched on that earlier, and we're going to go through the Sennheiser models. There's not a bit of confusion, but definitely people aren't sure about the 3 different models in each of the series or each of the ranges that cover the connectivity types. So we're going to go through that shortly, what the certified for Skype means and what the UC optimized versions are and how to go about, picking those out. So obviously, Daniela, we've got, we want a wireless headset. What is the difference between DECT and Bluetooth?
Okay, so the difference between DECT and Bluetooth is DECT is digital enhanced communication technology. It is a more stable technology. It's not reliant on, a network like Bluetooth that interferes with other things like wireless headsets, mobile phones, keyboards, all that type of stuff. So DECT is still our most stable technology, and we find in most big, medium to big call centers, it's still our most popular selling category, simply because of the stability and the features that surround DECT. So what that means is you've got a base on your desk, and then you have a headset that you can move around the office with. The range is 180 meters, that's the standard range, but in most office spaces, it's about 60 meters, depending on office and concrete walls and stuff.
Well, we were eating lunch the other day, and ours was working at the lunch shop up the road, okay? So, yeah, I knew what was going on in my head. These do go a really long way. These are like the Yealink cordless phones, but better, okay? So they're really good. Danielle, what's the story with Bluetooth? So if I've got an office with, say, 15, 20 people, they're sitting at their desk, is Bluetooth the right choice for 20 or 30, 40 devices in a condensed environment?
So normally we would say a maximum of 20 Bluetooth products in an environment, and that includes like keyboard, mouse, Bluetooth mouse, keyboard, that type of thing. So a maximum of 20 before you'll start to get interference. And what that means is you'll start to get dropouts because all of the devices are competing for that same Bluetooth network, and someone's going to be bumped off, and then a headset or a keyboard will come back on. So in an office environment, a large size, we'd always recommend the DECT. small office environment, Bluetooth is fine. And especially if people are, like, as we talked about before, in the office sometimes, working from home sometimes, they can take these devices with them. They can connect them to their mobile phone, their laptop, their tablet. So it's a little bit more versatile in regards to connection.
So these are for your, your road warrior kind of, personnel. And then obviously you don't want to carry around the base with you when you're at the airport. So you're not going to take the decked unit with you. So this is for your receptionist that's, roaming around the office. This is for your, BDM sales role in the car, out of the car, working on a notebook primarily, and needs to be able to have a device that will connect to, say, their mobile, their laptop, maybe their desk phone, and seamlessly connect to all of those. So there's a place for decked and Bluetooth. So picking out the right technology, like Daniela said, is very important based upon the environmental factors. So keeping that in mind, it's a good idea to reach out to Daniela and check with us as well in regard to whether Bluetooth or decked is going to be the right solution for you. Now, we don't talk about wired headsets a lot because they're not as exciting as wireless.
They're not as exciting.
The wide range of headsets, very popular for large call center deployments, and maybe even recording some narration or doing other tasks on the computer, not just being on the phone. So, Danielle, do you want to take us through the wired range? I know a lot of people, we've got some very loyal wired headset customers that keep coming back, but not many people have explored that range.
Okay.
If you want to take us through maybe the scenarios on how to pick the right wired headset, just like we have with the wireless range.
Sure. So with the wired headsets, there's certainly still a place, and we, in our top 10 selling units in Australia, we've got 3 or 4 wired headsets. People like them because they're cost effective. Obviously, it's a cheaper alternative to decked and Bluetooth. It ties people to their desks. So as you said, in a call center environment, they don't often want the call center operators walking around. They want them fixed at their desk while they're logged on. So it ties people to their desk. Again, it's easy for portability. So we have a couple of businesses recently that wanted to give their guys a headset that they could use in the office with their, whether it be PC or phone, and then also use it at home. So it's easy to pop in your bag and carry around. So from a mobility-wise point of view, depending on connection, that's available. So there certainly is still a place for wired headsets in the market. And price points are anything from, $90 up to $399, depending on connection and depending on features. So an entry point wired headset comes with foam ear pads. It comes with noise cancelling microphone. It comes with whether you want easy disconnect into like a handset or USB connection. As you go up, you then get leather ear pads, more features. You get 3.5 connection and USB, so you can have the both in the one headset. Controls on the actual cable. So it depends as you go up. The most important thing with wired headsets and what we normally say is what does the customer want to spend, and then that determines what they want and what features are they after. If it's just an easy disconnect headset or just a headset that plugs into a phone, that's kind of our entry point into wired headsets, and then you go up into USB and 3.5.
Great, so we'll go through easy disconnect in a minute and what that means as well. So how these headsets, interface with, say, a computer or a phone. So we'll go through that very shortly. So we're going to look at the decked range, and I know a lot of people have used the D10 and the DW. Maybe not so much the SD series, being a newer product, but the D10 and DW. I mean, what's the difference, Danielle, between these two in the deck series?
Okay, so the D10 is our entry point into the decked space. It comes in 3 variants, so you can get it in a phone connection, a USB connection, or a USB Microsoft Link or Skype for Business certified version. You can't get it in a version that does everything, so you really need to choose the application. It's convertible, so for the customer, they can either wear it in a headband, they can wear it in their ear, over their ear, or you can buy an additional neckband where that earpiece fits on. So it gives you a little bit of versatility and connection. So we find a lot of receptionists in medical offices, those type of environments like this unit, because depending on, whether they want to wear a headband or an earpiece, they can kind of play around with it. Great entry point headset. One of the really good features across all our decked range is that in each category, whether it's the D10, DW or the SD series, any headset will pair to that same base in the office. So if you've got 6 or 7 people in the office and people move around move around desks, everyone can have their own headset and it will pair to any of that same base.
We had that the other day here. So I left my headset in the car because it's so light, I forget it's on my head.
Yeah.
And then left it in the car. So I had another headset that was on charge.
Yeah.
Touched it into my dock like that. Obviously, it pairs up and syncs, and off you go. So it's really a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That works really well.
It's also good. You can also pair up to 4 headsets to the one base. So for things like coaching or conference calls and things like that, you can actually pair 4 headsets to that one base really easily. No additional cables needed. It's just a really simple process, which if any of you guys, I've got quite a good information sheet on that. If you've got customers that do coaching or hot desking, that type of thing, we can send out that to you. So that's the D10 series. DW is still our most popular selling product out of all our products in Australia. It comes in 3 different wearing styles. It comes in a convertible, so again, headband, in-ear, over-ear. It comes in a single ear or a dual ear version. So there's 3 different wearing styles. Then it comes in 3 different variants. So you can get a phone-only version, a USB-only version, or a USB and phone version combined, which we call our full version, which is a good option for people who are maybe connecting it to a phone at the moment, but think one day we want to go down the soft phone path. You're future-proofing them by giving them that headset, and they don't have to buy a new headset.
I think it's worth the extra money, and we'll go through the pricing shortly, but getting the full version is definitely worth it. If you want to run on your computer, then go back to your desk phone. It just gives you all the options. You don't want to have you don't want to regret your purchase, by purchasing, say, the single connectivity, and then 6 to 12 months down the track, you take a different route with maybe going to a soft phone solution or going to a different UC platform that involves USB connectivity. So, making sure that you buy once and buy right is definitely the right way to go about pitching or closing a deal for the DW series with your customers. Now, what about the SD series there? That's quite a new series. What makes that different to the DW?
So the SD series has been out maybe about 6 months now, so still fairly new in this space. The really great thing about this headset is whilst it's still decked, you can also connect via Bluetooth. So it comes with the Bluetooth dongle, which is our BTD 800 dongle that plugs into the side. What that means is you can connect a mobile phone, a Bluetooth headphone to that same base. So you can have multiple things connected across different technology. People like this type of headset because often you're at work, but people are using their mobile phones more and more for calls. So you can connect that mobile phone in and have everything connected rather than answering your mobile, answering your desk phone, answering your soft phone. It's all connected into the one device. At the moment, this just comes in a single ear version, a convertible version. We're just about to release the single and dual ear version, which will be out in the next probably 6 to 7 weeks. So we'll have a full range across that. But that's really great with that Bluetooth soft phone PC and DECT connectivity.
So if you're coming to Expo, which I hope everyone is, then you can definitely try on the SD series and use it and see what it's all about. Obviously, you can switch between your technologies or your devices here between those 2 buttons. So if we have a look next at the Bluetooth range, so obviously here we've got 3 distinctly different products. Danielle, how does the Bluetooth range work, and what product would you be picking for, each of these, or what scenario would you be using each of these products in?
Okay, so the MB Pro series on the left is exactly the same headset as our DW Pro in the DECT. The only difference is it's designed for Bluetooth. So you'll see it's got a blue ring around the ear pad. That's what distinguishes it between Bluetooth and the DECT headband. So it's exactly the same. The Bluetooth comes in, again, 3 different varieties. So you can get the MB Pro 1, which is just headset and charging cable only. MB Pro 1 UC, which comes with a dongle and a charging stand, and then MB Pro 1 UC ML, which is a Skype for Business variant. So Unfortunately, at the moment, it's still a requirement to have the 2 different variants for Microsoft Link. That's changing, so we will only have 1 variant.
And what is the difference between the ML and non-ML?
So it's just optimized for Skype for Business. So if you're using Skype for Business with an ML product, when you connect, it automatically recognizes that you're using Skype for Business, and that will be your main soft client.
Okay.
Otherwise, you have to go through and activate Skype for Business.
It's the same hardware.
It's exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. So MB Pro Series would be for, as we talked about before, people on the road, people who are in small offices but want to be able to walk around like these guys often walk down to the warehouse or walk, around, then want to take it home and use that same headset at home. So it just gives you a little bit more flexibility. The Presence series is really for people who are on the road. Your in-ear headset that you can wear driving in the car. It's quite inconspicuous. You can connect, to your PC, to your mobile phone. If you then come into the office, there's also an additional headband you can buy. So if you don't want to wear that little earpiece in the office, you can buy a headband that fits into. But that's really for people who are out on the road.
This is great, this one. If no one can hear the car noise in the background or anything, it's great if you're running late to work and you answer your phone on 3CX and, you get away with being 10 minutes late. That's a ripper, this one. It blocks out every bit of background noise. Even if you've got the window down in the car, the radio playing, just very lightly in the background, you can't hear any of that noise. It's really clever. It's
got 3 little microphones built in, and it's got amazing wind retention technology. So it, as Ty said, it just blocks out all that noise, and you get a really, really clear sound coming through.
Now, what about the MB660? These look pretty serious.
So the MB660 is what we call our professional or executive headset. So it's really a fit for all purpose. It's active noise cancelling, and at the moment it's our only headset that we have that is active noise cancelling in the ear pads. We are bringing out a couple more this year, but at the moment that's the only one. You can connect via Bluetooth, a 3.5 connection into your mobile phone, or USB. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility. There's no microphone boom, but the microphone is similar to the Presence. It's built into the ear pad. So again, the sound quality on this is fantastic. So we have a lot of mid to high execs who do video conferencing who don't want to have a boom when they're doing a video conference call. This fits that purpose. They can then use it when traveling. They can use it for listening to music. They can use it at home, connected to Bluetooth to watch whatever they want on their iPad or whatever. 30 hours performance or 30 hours standby time, which is a fantastic. And it's super, super comfortable to wear. You don't get, it fits over your ear, so you don't get, your ears going red if you're wearing it on a long haul flight or anything like that.
You might not even wake up for food on the plane. Like I fell asleep on the way home from Perth with those on, and I had to be woken up at the, when we were in our descent. So you will not hear anything with those on. They're great.
So that's our top of the range product, the MB660.
All right, so we've gone through obviously the DECT, the Bluetooth. Now, obviously here we've got Culture Plus Mobile. How do we go about picking these, between these models?
Yep.
Okay, obviously there's differences with the finish,
yep,
the technology. Where should someone start when picking a wired headset?
So again, it's important to understand what's the customer using it for. Are they using it just to connect into a handset, which is what we would then say, an easy disconnect cable connection? Are they using it to connect into a soft phone, but they also want to use their mobile phone? So that would be then USB and 3.5, or are they just using it for USB? So just using it for soft phone, then it would just be the USB connection. So it depends, as I said before, with corded headsets, people will often have a price in mind. This is what we want to spend on the corded headset, or this is our budget. And then we can work within that budget to recommend the best headset to fit. One of the important things down the bottom, Active Guard technology, is a really good feature, especially in call centres. What that does, if there's a loud noise that's transmitted through the call, it'll block that noise by 50%, so there's no damage to the person who's wearing the headset's ears. So in a call centre, that's a really important selling feature. All these headsets come in single or dual variant, as do all of our models.
Again, if you're doing a large opportunity, grab a few demo units from Daniela. She'll take you through the best practice in terms of picking the right headset to start with. Then it comes down to personal choice and what people want to go for. So, all those factors combined, we can definitely deliver the right solution there. So I want to go through, obviously it's a lot to digest and a lot of things to think about with, compatibility. What I want to run through now for the last part of our webinar is looking at how to go about picking the right Sennheiser headset and how to use the Sennheiser compatibility app. So I'll be shooting this out after the webinar. Obviously, the compatibility with different units is very important. So you can see here, and I'll shoot the link out, along with all the latest collateral. But just to make sure that you're pairing your headset up correctly or you're connecting it correctly to your phone, knowing what parts and what lifters or what accessories you need is critical to getting it working correctly. So you can see here, if I type in Yealink in the top search box here, I will get all of the Yealink phones in the series. So all of these handsets that have been certified to work with Sennheiser headsets, then it will let me know what accessories, if any, I need to make the solution work. So I'll go through a few examples now, because I know people have a lot of questions regarding this. Let's bring up a Yealink and we'll do a USB connect. So we'll pick something in the 5 series and we'll go for a Yealink T54. So I'll go here, T54S. And you can see here, it'll bring up all of the different headset solutions that you can choose from. So Daniela, what is the difference between the USB, the phone, and the ML? Is that coming back to our 3 different models we mentioned earlier?
Yeah, so the USB is USB only connection, phone is phone only connection, and then the ML version is USB Skype for Business optimized.
Now you'll notice on the phone versions, it does have a USB port still. That is only for firmware upgrades, okay? It's not for connectivity to the computer. And we'll go through that shortly about how that works and how to keep your Sennheiser headset fully up to date. I've put a few more slides in here with a few different scenarios. So I'll go through that now. Essentially, you put in your model like we did before. So if I put in a Yealink T54S, I've got direct USB connectivity, okay? And I can just plug that in the back of the phone and off I go. The 5 series phones are very friendly to headsets because you don't need an electronic lifter. And I'll go through that scenario very shortly. The second scenario with headsets, and we'll go through the Yealink range particularly, is, say for instance, this is our most popular phone, the T46S. You can see here that there's a mechanical lifter. Now, there's a few things to consider here about lifters, about what you actually do need, and if you actually need a lifter at all. So essentially the phone here, a T46S, if we use this little unit here called an EHS36, it means that the person wearing the headset can obviously answer or hang up the call from the headset itself. Now, Daniela, is that very popular in call centres? Do people go for lifters or they don't really need them?
When people are fixed to a desk, like in a call centre environment, they're normally answering through their handset because they're not away from their desk. Majority of people who use the call control functions with their headset are receptionists or people in an office space who might be working in another room, those type of people that don't have access to their handset all the time and need call control through their headset.
So yeah, if you're doing, if you don't need call control, then you don't have to worry about the lifter. You don't have to worry about even the mechanical or obviously the Yealink electronic lifter. This box here does what that does mechanically, okay, just in an electrical relay or electrical circuit. So essentially the headset plugs into there. When you press the button on the headset, it sends a signal to the phone saying, hey, answer this call, okay, and that's how it works. So what I'm going to do is take people through 2 more things, obviously the Leader dealer shop. So we have all of the cables and accessories on here that the Sennheiser compatibility guide will tell you about or will ask for. So obviously clicking on here, all of these cables or any lifter devices will be on the dealer shop. So if you're looking for a part or accessory to work with your Sennheiser headset, we stock everything here, okay? And if it's not in stock, it might be a special order. We can get it really fast from Sennheiser. They've got ultra fast freight. So, stuff like the lifters, very popular. The dongles, okay, for the MB Pro. This is our Bluetooth easy pair dongle. You literally just plug it in and it works, okay? All of those devices and spare parts we've got. And Sennheiser are really well known in pro audio for spare parts and always servicing their products and having the ability to, replace, small components as opposed to just throwing the unit out, which is a lot of other headset brands do. We've also got some bundles here. So obviously we've got H-Tech handsets, Yealink handsets. We've got bundles for each of those so that you've got the right cable in there. This is a really simple way to order. So if you're not sure at all, reach out to the IP team at Leader or ask your dedicated account manager to transfer you through to the IP team, and we can put you in touch with Daniela or advise ourselves on what you need to do. One more thing, Daniela, what's the most common query we get from customers that say, I'm having difficulty connecting, I'm not sure about the might be a quality issue, connectivity issue? What's the first thing that people should check with their headset?
So the first thing to check is that the software is updated. Like you do with your iPhone, you need to update headsets. We don't have updates come out as often as iPhone does. We might do 2-3 a year, but what that does is just get rid of any kinks and bugs or any issues in the headset. So we always recommend people update their headset. Occasionally, depending on when the stock was made and if it's been sitting in our Hong Kong or Europe warehouse, there may have been a firmware version released in the time that it's been made and then in transit. So always check that the headset is on the latest software version.
We get that a lot. So obviously here, I've got Headset Up Pro. I'm going to distribute this after the webinar in our sales toolkit and technical support resources. So the Sennheiser updater, we're talking today on the SP20, okay? Here in the boardroom at Leader, you've got here obviously the details of the unit, but more importantly, the updates, okay? So I installed this on my PC in the boardroom, new computer, in under 2 minutes, and it's picked up my Sennheiser SP20. It's telling me that the firmware version's up to date and my Headset Up Pro software is up to date. Again, like Daniela said earlier, these link editions will preference the Skype for Business client over others, but you can obviously select your default soft phone, be it 3CX or Skype for Business, both certified to work with this product via the Headset Up Pro software. So super easy to manage all those settings. And of course your Windows audio settings for muting or turning down your Windows sounds when you're on a call. So I guess now it's time to, if anyone's got any questions about Sennheiser, any particular feedback in regard to picking the right solution or anything at all, if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out in the chat or the questions box there, and we can read those out with everyone.
While we're just waiting for people to send questions, I'm sure everyone's got lots. One of the strengths of the Sennheiser brand, and some of you may have heard of Sennheiser before, some of you may not, we are an audio company. That's the history of Sennheiser. So one of the strengths is the audio quality, not only in what the person wearing the headset is hearing, but the person on the other end as well. As Ty said, we encourage people to try our product. One of our catch cries is actually experience Sennheiser. In most cases, when we get a Sennheiser headset in an end consumer or an end user's hand, up against our competitors, the Sennheiser normally wins because they like the build, they like the comfort, they like the sound quality. So we're pretty confident in the product to be able to say to you guys, if your customers want to trial it, just let us know. We're happy to facilitate that.
Awesome. So guys, thanks for joining us today. If you've got any follow-up from this or you're not sure about starting your Sennheiser journey, reach out to the IP team through your dedicated account manager. We'll be posting this webinar on our Facebook group as well. So if you're not part of our Facebook family, join us at facebook.com/groups/Breeze. It's a great opportunity. Daniela's on the group as well. So if you've got any Sennheiser questions, even if it's after hours, a lot of after hours replying, Daniela's always there.
Depending on what the question is.
Yeah, that's right. Always there to help out. So, we're obviously very close with our vendors here at Leader, and, what a great opportunity to grow your IP telephony sales with Sennheiser. So thanks, Daniela, for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us, guys.